it's just the truth. And the reality is that these horrible things, and had there been these horrible text messages, had there been this horrible
doesn't cause trouble on Monday's big court hearing where they could have used that against them.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
When Bryan Freedman first showed me the footage, I was genuinely taken aback. What played on that screen was nothing like the charming, camera-ready pair the world had grown to adore on red carpets and talk shows. Instead, it was stripped of polish, unguarded, tense, and startlingly real. For once, the public personas faded, and the truth peeked through. It makes you wonder, do celebrities ever let us see who they really are, or is every laugh and glance just part of a carefully rehearsed act? As Hollywood's golden couple scrambles to hide this recording, one question lingers: what truth are they so desperate to keep from reaching the light?
And representatives were not only deeply involved in the attempted takedown and smear campaign of Mr. Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, and their teams, but that they themselves initiated it. Now, what this actually means is that all those TikToks and metadata that we've been reporting on, and so many of you guys have been reporting on, it's been making a difference. His team's getting it, and it's affecting this case. It's bringing new evidence to light. So we should not stop. We are not harassing. We are doing our homework. And I think Blake Lively and team are very terrified by it. And that all those TikToks, metadata, etc., are the reason for this amended complaint. And in a brilliant move, I got to say, by their legal team, they've managed to delay the website in a way that doesn't cause trouble on Monday's big court hearing where they could have used that against them, and instead filed it as an Exhibit A in this amended complaint. So now we just got a lot more evidence and examples, etc., that and the parts I've gotten through so far only help Justin tremendously. The stuff in here, guys, some of it is shocking. A lot of it we knew, but they've added new nuance and details and context that, again, in the timeline of things, makes Blake look even worse. But I want to focus on this in this first video. We're going to go through a lot of these points throughout the weekend, so please hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us over on Instagram. Will you put over on Popcorn Planet? We're trying to post more texts and things, more breaking, and I appreciate you guys who've joined us over there. I know some of you don't like Meta. I know, but I need another outlet where we can post quickly and not always just rely on Google. We got to diversify. So please, if you're on Instagram, follow us over at Popcorn Planet. Stay tuned. But let's get to the text. There's so much to break down, guys. These texts are wild. Okay, so these are the text message exchange that we got from Justin to Ryan, and then Ryan to Justin as the shoot started. I want to read these out with you. Ready? Here's the Justin text to Ryan. Hey, Ryan, Justin Baldoni here, the guy who brought his literal baggage to his meeting with your wife. I asked Blake for your number well over a month ago and have wanted to text you for a while now, but my good old nerves got the best of me. Emily and I have a very small circle. We live out in the country in Ohio and pretty much just hang out with each other. We've known all of our closest friends for years, and I don't really have any close female friends that my wife isn't also friends with, let alone married ones. And so I guess this is just an awkward text to say, I'd like to be friends. I'm happy there's no check yes or no box. Blake also sent the sweetest message to my wife unprompted, saying something similar, which just made me respect her and your union even more. I've been a supporter and admirer from afar of both yours for both of yours for years. You are in a class of your own, and I so appreciate
The latest court filings have intensified an already volatile situation. The amended legal complaint makes a striking claim: Blake Lively and her team weren't merely bystanders. They allegedly played an active role in orchestrating a deliberate smear campaign against Justin Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, and several of their associates. What was once speculation has now been entered into the legal record, raising the stakes dramatically. For months, online investigators have combed through interviews, timestamps, and TikTok clips, piecing together what many dismissed as conspiracy theories. Now, much of that digital evidence has surfaced in the courtroom. The documents cite specific social media examples, confirming that this isn't just a spectator sport. The online community has, in many ways, become a crucial force shaping the direction of the case. One legal analyst described it bluntly: this isn't harassment, it's accountability. And according to insiders, that growing wave of accountability has Lively's camp deeply unsettled. Filed strategically ahead of Monday's key hearing, the amended complaint doesn't derail the primary proceedings. Instead, The new evidence has been attached as Exhibit A, allowing Baldoni's legal team to strengthen their arguments without procedural delays. Those close to the case have called it a calculated and highly effective move, one that introduced a flood of new evidence suggesting Lively's involvement runs far deeper than anyone initially believed. Some of the revelations echo long-circulating online whispers, but the newly released materials add startling depth and context. Even some of Lively's long-standing supporters are beginning to reassess her actions as the full timeline of events comes into focus, and with that clarity, her defense appears increasingly fragile. One of the most revealing pieces of evidence centers on a text exchange between Justin Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds, sent just as filming began. These aren't hearsay or summaries, they're verified transcripts, officially submitted to the court. Baldoni's message reads as a genuine attempt at friendship. "Hey Ryan, Justin Baldoni here, the guy who brought literal baggage to your meeting with your wife. I asked Blake for your number a while ago, but honestly, nerves kept me from reaching out sooner. Emily and I live in a small Ohio town, it's just us and a few close friends. I don't usually connect with women one-on-one unless my wife knows them too, especially married ones. So, yeah, this feels awkward, but I wanted to say I'd really like to be friends. There's no checkbox here. Blake sent Emily a kind message recently, and it meant a lot. I've admired you both for years, your marriage, your work, your class. You've set a standard I really respect. What once seemed like a warm introduction now feels ominously different. In light of recent events, those texts read less like the start of camaraderie and more like the quiet opening chapter of a much darker story, one marked by betrayal, manipulation, and reputational fallout. As the filings continue to unfold, one truth stands out. The public's collective effort in uncovering and analyzing this saga has played a pivotal role. Every breakdown thread, every metadata analysis, every TikTok timeline has fed into the growing body of evidence. And now, the carefully crafted image of Hollywood's beloved couple is beginning to fracture under the weight of what's been exposed. When I hear the word deposition, one name immediately comes to mind: Ryan Reynolds. If this case proceeds that far, his testimony could be pivotal. Imagine the scene: questions about the early script meetings, the creative direction, and whether personal emotions crossed into professional boundaries. Bryan Freedman, representing the opposing side, is likely preparing to press him hard. "You claim your wife was harassed, correct?" Reynolds might confirm, only to be reminded that he seemed to treat the issue lightly at the time. That's where this could get uncomfortable fast. Observers have pointed out that certain camera angles and choreography in the It Ends With Us scene bear a striking resemblance to a sequence Blake Lively filmed years ago with Reynolds during Green Lantern, the very movie where their relationship began. Some call it coincidence, others see it as uncanny. Online theories have run wild, with some suggesting Reynolds may have felt provoked by the similarities. But critics of that theory argue it unfairly dismisses Lively's own allegations, which she's made clear are serious and deeply personal. Still, fan speculation shows no sign of slowing down, especially now that newly leaked footage has surfaced. Bryan Freedman recently released material that, if authentic, completely reframes public perception of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Gone are the polished smiles, playful banter, and family-centered charm that built their brand. What appears instead is raw and disquieting, a glimpse behind the curtain few ever expected to see. Reportedly recorded inside the couple's own home, the video shows an ordinary living space, far removed from Hollywood glitz. Reynolds paces the room, tense and restless, while Lively sits rigidly on the couch, clearly uneasy. Their body language tells a story of strain, secrecy, and conflict. In this setting, there are no stylists, scripts, or retakes. Reynolds' usually smooth confidence falters. His hands clench and release, his jaw tightens, and when he finally speaks, his voice wavers. What he says could undermine years of interviews built on the image of partnership and respect. Lively, meanwhile, avoids eye contact, fidgeting with her wedding ring as though grounding herself. Her silence speaks volumes. What once looked like mutual understanding now feels fractured. The most striking revelation, however, may be the timestamp. The footage was allegedly taken just 2 days before the couple appeared on stage at a major awards ceremony, looking as composed and in love as ever. In hindsight, that glamorous appearance feels like part of a performance, one crafted to preserve their public narrative. Their carefully curated image of authenticity, the relatable marriage, the humor, the charm, begins to crumble under scrutiny. It raises uncomfortable questions about the blurred line between a celebrity's public persona and their private truth, and the legal documents also reveal messages between Justin Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds from early in their collaboration. Baldoni's tone was warm, respectful, and open. He expressed admiration for Reynolds and Lively, shared details about his family life in Ohio, and emphasized his values as a husband and father. He even joked about his nerves and awkwardness in reaching out, offering genuine friendship. The response from Reynolds was equally gracious, full of humor and mutual respect. On paper, it read like the start of a friendly professional bond. But in light of what's unfolded since, those messages now feel like echoes from a calmer past, before tensions escalated into a public and legal storm. Behind the scenes, insiders say nothing about the couple's public image was ever accidental. Former staff describe a household run with precision, where every caption, every interview, every playful online exchange was rehearsed and approved. Even the way their children were referenced in public, rarely shown, often hinted at, was part of a strategy to appear genuine without revealing too much.